Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Mark with My Front Range Living, and today we are talking about some of the substantial differences between Colorado Springs versus Denver, and we're going to get started right now. Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Mark with My Front Range Living, powered by RE/MAX Integrity. I'm a full-time real estate agent here in Colorado Springs, and today we are talking about some of the differences Colorado Springs versus Denver. So when we talk about some of the best places to live in Colorado, Colorado Springs and Denver almost inevitably always top those lists in one way, shape, or form. Top two, top three, somewhere in there for both of those cities. So if you are moving to Colorado, you could already be living in Colorado. Here are some of the big differences that you need to know about between Colorado Springs and Denver. So Colorado Springs is not as congested, not quite as populated as Denver. So yes, Denver is much more of what most consider the metropolitan area. Denver is much more widespread. It's a bigger land area, and it's got a lot of people in it. So one thing that I would caution you with that is, I think in a few years, if not within a few months, Colorado Springs or El Paso County will be just as populated as Denver County. Now, granted, that does not mean Denver. It just means Denver County. So Douglas County and the surrounding areas of Denver are still going to be far more populated than Colorado Springs because El Paso County is just bigger. So that's Colorado Springs, just not quite as populated as Denver. So one thing that Denver has, hands down, far better than Colorado Springs is the sports, music, and entertainment venues. So the Pepsi Center, Mile High Stadium, Coors Field, Red Rocks is just to the west of Denver. Denver has a lot of the great, Fiddler's Green. How can I forget Fiddler's Green? So great venues up in Denver. Now, obviously, the Nuggets, the Rockies, the Avalanche, the Broncos. Are the Broncos putting out a football team this year? Do we know? Anyway, those major sport teams are up there right now, and that also brings in some great musical acts as well. Personally, the Foo Fighters, I have seen them at Red Rocks and the Pepsi Center and Fiddler's Green, as a matter of fact. Look at me be a Dave Grohl stalker. Those are great venues in Denver. Colorado Springs, however, is much closer to the foothills, which means we have easier and quicker access to trails and parks and things like that. So if we want to go on different trails, or we want more of the open spaces and things like that, we are much closer to those than you would be in Denver. Yes, Denver has them. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But Denver has more of the parks and the paved trail systems and things like that, whereas Colorado Springs has the open spaces and the natural trails. However, Denver has an amazing, vibrant downtown scene as well as cultural and arts scene. Not to say, again, that Colorado Springs doesn't, but Denver's is super, super vibrant. So if you're looking for a great downtown, more of an urban vibe, then yes, Denver is a great option for you. So let's talk about real estate and the differences between Colorado Springs and Denver and what that looks like. The big draw for a lot of people for Colorado Springs is the fact that property taxes are far lower and property values are not as high as they are in Denver. More on that in just a second. But we have noticed in Colorado Springs that Monument, who is the north end of El Paso County in Colorado Springs, we're seeing a lot of people move into that area because it's close to Denver. People are coming into El Paso County to pay lower taxes and get more house for less money. And they'll just take that commute that comes with it. That said, Denver has a ton of options, and having been here first, you're going to have some older homes, brand new builds, of course, and you can get in many different parts of the city. So I do want to come back to the fact that when we talk about property taxes and property values and things like that, yes, it is a little less expensive from a property standpoint to live in Colorado Springs. However, lending limits have a tendency to be higher in Douglas County and in the Denver area. What that means is we can only lend so much on a conventional loan in El Paso County, and we can lend more than that in Douglas and Denver counties. So you might actually be able to afford on a loan more home than you could in El Paso County and Denver, just because of how the loan structures are. So hey, as always, we hope you found value in the content. There are, of course, a ton more differences between Colorado Springs and Denver. And if you have questions about that, you can absolutely reach out. One thing we do want to offer you if you're thinking about moving to Colorado is we have a relocation guide that you can download for free. It's in the description. You'll see the link down there in the video description. Just click on that. More information on Colorado Springs for you. As we do every week, we would ask that you go down below and click that thumbs up button and give us a like on today's video. It would mean the absolute world to us if you hit the bell down below and subscribe to our channels. We are putting out content every single week to help you make Colorado Springs feel like home. Once again, Mark with My Front Range Living, powered by RE/MAX Integrity. Thanks so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. So one thing that Denver has easily, hands down, like that. Nope.